Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rico. Um, I'm in my kitchen. I'm back to making some tuna fish. Y'all know I hurt my back last week. I'm still not gonna tell y'all why I hurt it, but after I hurt it, I stopped working out for a little while. So I'm gonna get ready to get back into my working out. So I need some protein. Um, anyway, I was watching Chanel's video earlier today about self-esteem, and it had me thinking about something. I hope y'all can see me. It had me thinking about something that has to do with self-esteem. Also, it's about loving yourself. Some people don't love themselves. They won't admit it, but they don't. And I know this because it took me a while before I loved myself. Um, I have a wonderful family. Have a very loving family. But when I was growing up, I don't think I ever heard the word love. The word love, or the words "I love you" in my house. And, I think that had a lot to do with me um, as a person, and how I love, and me being insecure about things about myself. Um, I can. The only person who always said to me, "I love you." Like I said, don't get me wrong. I have a very loving family. Matter of fact, I hear "I love you" all the time now. And I think I started hearing it most when I got into my 30s. Um, the person I would always hear it from the most was my great grandmother, and her birthday was Christmas Day, as a matter of fact. And, anyway, that woman, she could see you like 27 times a day. She would hug you and tell you, "I love you." When you came in the door, she said it. When you were leaving, she said it. But she was the only person that I heard it from. And because she passed away, I mean, I didn't see her on a daily basis either. Maybe if I had, I wouldn't have had the issues that I had. But I didn't hear it anymore. And I can remember the very first time, and I love my mother to death, I do. I really do. We just like brother and sister now. I can remember the very first time that I heard it from my mother. And it was the day that my sexuality was discussed. And she said, "We still love you. I still love you." But that was the first time I heard it. And I was an adult. I was 20 years old. So, and it was in springtime because I remember I remember exactly when it was. So, but when people think that no one loves them, it it affects everybody differently. I mean, you have some people who act out and do things like get on drugs, drink, rebel, don't go to school, get pregnant. What else? They seek for love from other people who really don't love them. They just want to use them for their own purposes, which is not a good thing. It's really not. I mean, if some people, they just act out so many times. Some people even go so far as they might commit suicide because they think that they're not loved, and that's not a good thing. You have to let people know that you love them. And I don't have a problem saying it now. There was a time when I did have a problem telling somebody I love them. It really was, because if I said it, you knew that I loved you because it wasn't something that I just slung around. I still don't sling the word around, but I will let a person know that I care for them. You have to do that. I mean, because like I said, people act out different ways. And love plays, if you don't, like I said, love plays a big part if you have in self-esteem issues, because if you don't feel love, it messes with your self-esteem. It really does. And some people are not that strong. They're really not. Everybody's not strong. I mean, that's obvious when you see people commit suicide for various reasons. You're like, why did they do that? So, but even so, on top of me not being told that I was loved, I also there was something else that affected my self-esteem, and that really, I really didn't come to grips with that until I was in my 30s, and I had to take some time to myself and find out who I was and learn to love myself, because I had a couple of people to tell me, matter of fact, someone very close to me in my family told me as a child to my face, I was 7 years old, and they told me that I was ugly. And it wasn't a joke when they said it. They said, with your little ugly ass. That's exactly what they said. I'll never forget it as long as I live. The next time somebody told me that, it was somebody I was in a relationship with. They told me that I was ugly, and I should be glad that they wanted me, because nobody else would want me. And you know, when you tell people things, you don't know what's going on inside their heads already. So you telling people this stuff, it affects them. You just don't know, but it really affects them, because people go through so much. You never know what's going on through their head. But and for a long time I thought I was ugly, and I had low self-esteem because I acted out in my 20s. It's a wonder I'm not dead now, because I was drinking so much. I was drinking 7 days a week. Everything known I could get my hands on, but drinking so much. But luckily I got myself together. But that's why to me, and I know I'm pretty sure somebody else feels different about this. I don't think nobody is ugly. I would never tell another person they're ugly, because that's not, that's something you don't do. Everyone has something that's ugly about them, whether it's their personality or whatever. Just because you're attractive does not mean you're better than anybody else, and you are here to make someone feel low about themselves. That's not a good thing. You don't do that to somebody. You don't do that. And I make it a habit. I always tell people, if I hear someone, especially someone I know, say, "Well, that person's ugly," I always tell them, "You shouldn't say that. You don't say that. That's not nice." So, but people need to learn to love. People have to learn to love themselves before they go searching for love elsewhere. Because if you don't love yourself, like I said, it messes with your self-esteem. So you have to be nice to people. You never know what somebody's going through. The least they could have a self-esteem issue, just something about themselves, and you say the least little thing to them, and it could make them do something really, really crazy. I don't know, but it took me a long time to get comfortable with myself. And actually, it wasn't until I was in my 30s, because that person that you see on videos talking about me, they be shaking around in drawers and stuff. Years ago, I wouldn't have done that, and I probably shouldn't do it now. But I'm a grown ass man. I do what the hell I want to do now. But I wouldn't have done that because I thought I was ugly. So, but I just wanted to share that. That's my take on it. Be nice to people. If you have someone in your family, tell them you love them. Don't tell somebody you're ugly. Please do not tell a child that they are ugly. Y'all have a good night. Peace.